So today's session is obviously why you're all here. It's on the MEXT scholarships. I've heard of it in the past, but I don't know much into detail. So I'm also coming to learn here so that if I know anyone that it benefits, I'll also share. And yeah, I've been in connection with my sister here for close to 3 years, but I've also known her history back in Legon, but I wouldn't talk much into it. I'll let her, come on here and do a quick introduction for us. And we would like the introduction to be from the trajectory from university probably, and where you study in your university. And probably you've done a few applications here and there before you landed on the MEXT scholarships. Then we'll delve right into MEXT. So, konnichiwa, my sister. Over to you.
Konnichiwa. Okay, so I'll share my screen now. Currently, grab me. So, first of all, who am I? My name is Pamela Afitete. I did my undergrad in University of Ghana. I studied marine and fishery science. I majored in fishery science. I came to Japan in 2019. So that means I applied in 2018 to be a MEXT Scholar. And this is my academic progression. I came to Hiroshima University in 2019, April. I was a research student for 6 months, learned Japanese for 6 months, did my master's, started my PhD, finished my PhD in bioresource science. I studied the heavy metal and temperature tolerance of aquatic insects. This is me on the field. This is my graduation day and me in the lab. I did a little bit of everything. So yes, and these are my hobbies. Oh, the YouTube. It's been a while, but hopefully we'll come back. But I like cooking, eating good food, traveling, baking. And currently I work at Micron Memory Japan. Yeah, you can text me on my socials, I reply. Yes. So that's all about me. So when people hear about the Japanese MEXT scholarship, I'm sure they don't know so much, but it's a fully funded scholarship program by the Japanese government, and it's through the Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, and it supports international students who want to study in Japan at universities, colleges, vocational schools. Yes, vocational schools. I'll give more details on that later. And it covers full tuition, your monthly living allowance, your round trip fare, that's to Japan, and back home after your course, that's if you decide to go. And for the embassy one, which is currently open, usually comes with Japanese language training for about 6 months. Even though you will not study in Japanese, that level of study will just help you survive and enjoy your life here in Japan. So I think these are some of the main reasons that make this scholarship quite famous and prestigious. And it has different categories. The one that is currently open is the research students mixed, which is for master's and PhD. I think that's the most popular one as of now. So the next one is the undergrad for bachelor's degree studies. If you did your your senior high school studies in Ghana and you want to come to Japan for your undergrad, there's another category that's also available. Then we have the College of Technology category is known as the COSEN, and this is more technical and engineering focused education. Then there's also specialized training college that's for vocational and professional training programs. If you did MVTI, all those things, and you want to come and get exposure, these are the categories that you need. Then we have the teacher training scholarship, and that's for teachers seeking further training in Japan. So you come here for a period of a year and a half to study. During the teacher training, you even get the chance to go to elementary school, depending on which level you teach. If you teach kindergarten, primary, junior high, senior high. You get the chance to go to these schools to learn how they also do their things here in Japan. And we have the Young Leaders Program, and that's for that's for future leaders, sorry, in government and public administration. So if you are a government worker, you can apply for the Young Leaders Program as well. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, there are two main routes you can use. The first one is the embassy recommendation, and this is the one that is currently open. So you apply through the Japanese embassy or consulate in your country, and it usually follows document screening, written exams, and interview. And the other part, which is is not so common, but also under the research studentship MEXT, is the university recommendation. And this one, you apply directly to a professor who is doing something you are interested in, and the professor will recommend you through the university to MEXT. So this is also a different one. And this one is currently not open. For this, it's usually open around November to December. Yes, so you have to find a professor, you have to find a university. You contact the professor stating that you would like to apply for the MEXT scholarship. You attach your research proposal, your CV, everything that you would need. And the professor will look through, recommend you to the university he or she teaches in. Then the university will recommend you to MEXT directly. So for this one, you need a good or excellent academic record. You need a strong research plan, and it should be something your professor is interested in. English or Japanese proficiency. If you don't have Japanese proficiency, that shouldn't be much of a problem. And relevant education background and age limit for some programs. Generally for MEXT, you should be less than 35 years as of the time you're applying. I would go into more details of that later. Okay, so that's basically about MEXT. And I think someone joined from Liberia, if I heard correctly. I think for Liberia, you also applied to the embassy in Ghana. Liberia and Sierra Leone, you applied to the embassy here in Ghana, so you should keep that in mind. So if you open the web page, this is the first thing you see. Um, According to Dr. Lois, I should go into the nitty-gritty, so I'm going to do my best and explain. Please, if you have questions, leave them in the chat. I would answer them at the end. She would read them out and we answer. Okay, so when you open the web page, this is how it looks like. The Japanese Government Scholarship 2027. The reason why it's 2027 is even though you're applying now, you'll be coming to school next year. So that's why it's 2027. And the scholarship is open if you're interested in studying for master's or doctoral. And so for the Ghanaians, you have to be a Ghanaian citizen for whichever country you're applying for. Make sure your country has relationships with Japan. Yes, it's very important. It's actually a qualification to apply. And you must make sure that you don't have any physical or mental conditions that will prevent you from studying. And you should be willing to learn Japanese. Even if you don't know any Japanese, that's fine. When I was applying, my Japanese level was 0, but you should just be willing to learn. So this is how the first page looks like. And every country has the deadline. So that's one thing I would like you to keep in mind as you're applying. Every country has the deadline for application. Starting with Ghana is 29th May, Nigeria is around 8 June. So try and check for your country, the deadline for application, and keep that in mind as you are preparing your documents, because it would actually be a disservice to you if you prepare all your documents and you did not miss the deadline. So try and prepare all your documents. Yes, and always make sure you use the most recent formats of the application form. So let's go through a few things that you must check. So it's open and the first screening will be conducted from now to about July by the various embassies. And since the application process is different, please try and keep in mind and check. And if you're not sure if your country has diplomatic relations with Japan, you can either check a simple Google search will do. I've also attached a link to all the countries with diplomatic relations with Japan on my LinkedIn and my Facebook. So you can check that. Just type out my name. It would come out. Okay. So since this scholarship category is referred to as research students, you need to know who qualifies as a research student in quotes. First off, somebody who wants to come to Japan and do a master's or a PhD. So you're already enrolled in a master's course and you have graduated, or you are soon to graduate about this year, and you're conducting research in a specialized field at the undergraduate, and you'll be able to complete it on time. Okay. So for the field of study, whatever you're applying for should be what you already studied, or you should have a very good link. You should not have studied home econs and want to come and do engineering. There's no correlation. Yes, if it's home econs or food and nutrition and you want to do food engineering, that's okay. So try and find a link. Make sure whatever you're applying for is what you studied in school. And if you are someone who did odontology and you are planning to apply for classical Japanese dances and subjects that require training in specific technologies, you do not qualify to apply. If you are a medical student, dental health student, welfare science, home science, you qualify to apply. However, there's something you must note. If the research proposal you are running or you're planning to submit involves you conducting a surgery here in Japan on human beings, you might not be able to do it. You'll only be able to do it if you get the relevant license from the Ministry of Health and Labor and Welfare under Japanese laws. So as much as possible, make sure it's not something that requires you to do a surgery here, surgery on human beings to get the data to publish. They will not allow you to do that here. So keep that in mind, okay? And usually for people who want to do such things, you should have the highest level of Japanese. All their equipment in the hospital might be in Japanese. So how are you going to conduct the surgery in the first place? Do you get it? So you should keep that in mind. If it's something you can do in the lab, you can apply, that's great. Yes. But if you have to do surgeries and all that, that might not be applicable to you. So for the qualifications, first is your nationality. As I mentioned earlier, make sure your country has diplomatic relations with Japan. So yes, that's for nationality. Okay. And if you hold dual citizenship, like you have a Japanese nationality and you have a permanent residence, you would have to change to student visa. And they cannot assure you that after that you get your permanent residence back. So if you're applying, you should keep that in mind as well. The next thing has to do with the age. And for age, you must be born on or after April 2nd, 1992. So you should be less than 35 years at the time of applying for either the master's or the PhD. Should be less than 35 years. Although there are exceptions, most of the time they go strictly by the age limit. So this is for people who are 35 years and below. Okay. Then academic background, you must satisfy any of the following conditions. So you're either someone who wishes to enroll in a master's or a doctoral course here in Japan. Yes, if you satisfy any of these at the time of enrollment, you are eligible. Let me make a little emphasis here on enrollment. If you are currently in a master's program and you are not done, but you'll be done by the end of this year, you still qualify to apply. because you'll be coming next year. So your time of enrollment is 2027, even though you are still in school and you finish this year. In that case, you will need a different document when you're applying. So I will state that when I get to the document section. Okay. So for master's program or doctoral program, starting with the master's, you should have completed about 16 years of school education in countries other than Japan. So we'll go to the form later. So you check that out. You did junior high, 3 years, senior high, 3 years, primary school, 6 years. Yes, all those things count. University, 4 years. All these things count. So making up the 16 years that you require to meet the qualification. And yes. So for Japanese language, I think there's a question that comes up a lot. It's okay if you don't understand Japanese at the time of applying, but you should be interested in learning the language because there's actually a Japanese test. It's okay if you fail the test. It just tells them that surviving here might be difficult for you, so they should enroll you in a program for about 6 months. Okay, so you study the language to be able to survive on your own. So if you fail the Japanese test, it's totally okay. I don't know if I passed or not, but I was enrolled, so yes. So they'll enroll you, and during that period, they'll pay you stipend, so you shouldn't worry about it at all. Yes. So they'll enroll you, you study, then you start your course so that when you go to the supermarket or other places, you can survive and enjoy life on your own. Okay. You will also need to submit a health certificate at a point. And the next is arrival in Japan. You will need to arrive around a stipulated period. For this scholarship, there are two main times in which there are two main times universities admit here in Japan. The first one is April intake, which is the main intake because the Japanese fiscal year starts in April. Their calendar actually starts in April. And the second one is in October. Yes. So either of them, you have to state when you want to come when you're applying in the application form. Okay. And okay, all these nitty-gritties are not needed here. So I'll move to the scholarship benefits. Okay. For this scholarship, you'll be given an amount per month. If you are a regular student during the time when you are doing your Japanese learning, you'll be given 143,000 yen per month. This amount you pay your rent, your food, and it's okay for you to live comfortably. Yes. And regular students, master students, an extra 1,000 yen is added. And for doctoral students, they get 2,000 yen added. The scholarship will also pay all your entrance fees, your tuition, your matriculation. They'll pay everything, so it's waived for you. You don't need to worry about it. They'll also pay your ticket fare in and out of Japan. So that's also out. Okay, so at this point, um, let's see. Okay, so let me just take you through a flow chart of how the application process is. So the call for applications, I think prior to COVID, it was quite strict and done mid-April, but now they don't follow it rigidly. They just take the deadline. Yes, but this should give you a fair idea. And as I mentioned earlier, it takes about a year for you to get into Japan. So I think some people are trying to enter the room. Okay, please add them here. Okay. So if you apply now, the first screening will start around May to July. Then you get a provisional acceptance letter in September. Then you move on to submission of a placement form, a new placement form. Then also screening and university placement, the notification of the results. Okay, so the first link I sent in the Zoom chat. It has all the consular and countries that have diplomatic relations with Japan. So I just selected Ghana from the list, and this is the next page it takes me to. Okay. And from this list, I think I shared this picture in the presentation. Over here, you see the age, the main qualifications, the age, nationality, Japanese language, and you see where to submit it. This is very important. You will not be submitting to the embassy. You'll be submitting to the Scholarship Secretariat in Ghana, Accra. Okay, so keep that in mind. You submit the documents in one envelope to the Scholarship Secretariat. And the deadline for submission, also very important, is 29th May 2026. Okay. So they also state that they might change the schedule depending on the prevailing circumstances. We'll come to this side. Please, if I forget, remind me, yeah? This is previous exam. I mentioned earlier that you have to write exams, so we'll come to this later. So for now, since we want to look at the application guidelines, you click on this link here for the application forms and guideline. So it takes me to this page, and this is the government approved sites, okay, for the scholarship. This is how it looks like, and it's in English, so you don't have to worry. So you just scroll down. So application guidelines here and application forms. I would recommend that anywhere you see in the guideline that a form has been provided, use their sample as much as possible. For example, this application form, use their sample. Okay? Don't try to do anything on your own. Use their sample. They have it in Japanese and also in English, the first one. So click on it. It takes you to a new link. And they've defined research studentship, the fields that can apply. I think I've mentioned that earlier. The nationality, academic background. I've spoken about this, as well as the master's and doctoral course. And so just keep scrolling down, okay? We are scrolling down for a reason, and the reason is they still have the selection process here. So you see the timelines, okay? And usually from this timeline to the second screening, they might be silent. So you would think they've forgotten you or anything. But as long as they've given you the first acceptance, the provisional acceptance, you should know that you are coming to Japan. So you should plan accordingly. Usually that gap gives people a lot of confusion that I've not heard from them anymore. What do I do? It's because during that period, they've taken your documents to Japan for it to be screened there as well. So just give them some time, okay? And so next is the application documents. So I'm going through one by one, and I'll also give some recommendations on how to make your application stand out, okay? So the first is the application form. As I mentioned, anywhere you see use application form or sample available, use their format. Use their format, okay? So application form, they have the format, we'll open it. More here, okay. So this is how the application form looks like, okay? And they've written in Japanese, they've also written in English. So you fill your name here, your gender, your marital status, nationality, date of birth, your address in your country. If you currently reside in Japan, what's your visa status? And your address before you come to Japan, if it's the same as the above or you would change it, you should let them know as well. And where your visa will be issued from. So if you're in Ghana, Embassy of Japan in Ghana. So you write that here, your phone number, your email address. They ask if you've been awarded a certificate by MEXT before. You answer that. And if yes, you have to specify the period, the school, and the program number, okay? And this is the program number here. The program number they are requiring here. Oh, you can see my cursor. Can you see my mouse?
Yes, we
No?
can.
Ah, okay. So the program number here tallies with this here. So whichever one you've previously been awarded, you put the number there. So if you were previously awarded undergrad and you're applying for research students, which includes master's and PhD, add that. And if it's young leaders, I think I mentioned all these scholarship categories earlier. Okay. And if you are unsure, also you should consult your Japanese diplomatic office. And here, very important, okay? Over here, this form, it actually fills in itself. As you can see, it's moving. So you can fill it online or using whichever um, browser you are using, okay? Then over here, you need to state your whole educational background, okay? So if you are marked from the above, do you have at least 3 years of educational work experience? You have to state that as well. And the duration of your study, okay, or the institution here, the time, the timeline, from what year to what month, what year to what month, how many years was it in total, how many months was it in total? Because this will automatically calculate to your educational years here, okay? As I mentioned earlier, you need a number of years to meet the deadline. Yes, there's a cutoff point for the number of years, so you have to put it all in, input everything here, and it will tally, okay? And if you're applying for any other one, are you applying for other government scholarships? Like aside MEX, are you currently applying? If yes or no, just be truthful. They know already. Don't go and lie. They know, okay? I don't know how to explain it, but in Japanese, it's more like, how should I put it, like a matrix. They know they're just all these things might even be a test for you. So
Mm,
if you're already applying for a different one, just put it there. It doesn't reduce your chances of getting it.
mm,
And if you are currently receiving any scholarship from any other organization aside Japanese government also stated there. And yes, so if so, you have to state the sponsor, the duration of the scholarship and the amount. Sometimes the reason why you're applying is maybe they're giving you peanuts and you need something concrete to be able to survive. So that's why I apply for the mix. And it even adds up to show them you really need it. So don't think because you have another scholarship, it will disqualify you. Yeah.
mm.
Okay. So that's it for the employment area. We are done here. Okay. Next is your academic record. Over here, you're going to fill in your primary education, the state, the city, what time to what time, how many years. Lower secondary, which is what we refer to as junior high school, the state, city, what time to what time, okay? And senior high school as well. If you apply for masters, you have up to undergraduate, so include that as well here, okay? Then tertiary education. If you have a master's degree, 2 masters, just fill it in. So for example, let me try and show you how the form fills up first. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So after you fill all this thing, it automatically calculates if you input the schools, everything, from what time to what time. Even this can be automatically calculated here for you, okay? And for the tertiary, there's also another important side here, okay? You have to state if you've graduated, expected to graduate, graduated, expected to graduate, or others. Yeah, so state that as well. And give any remarks if there are. Usually there's nothing, okay? And field of specialization in the past. So undergrad, what did you study? Stated here. If you've written any book, you have any publications, especially masters, state it here, okay? And what do you intend to study here in Japan? Okay. Non-regular, master's, professional, graduate, doctoral, okay? So if you know you have a master's degree already, I recommend you go for a doctoral program, okay? Don't be trying to do another master's before, I mean, you already qualify as long as you have a thesis, so it should be okay, okay? And the preferred month, I think I mentioned this earlier, that it's in the form. You can choose when you want to come to Japan, either April or the October intake, okay? And the term you wish to study in Japan. Let me state a very important point here. If you are coming for masters and you know, even if you don't know whether you want to do PhD, indicates PhD here, okay? Indicates PhD here. Because along the course of your masters, you might change your mind and want to do PhD. And it depends on your professor to agree for you to do that course, okay? So if you already take the year, you have to apply again. Once you are in your final year of the master's, you have to apply again for an extension, okay? And another thing I also mentioned is after you get the scholarship and you come to Japan, if in the beginning your professor asks you that, would you like to do PhD after your master's? They're just testing you. Please say yes, even if you're not sure yet. Say yes, okay? And just work hard. I know people have a lot of perceptions about PhD, but you can do it. So just say yes until you are sure. But if you are very sure you don't want to, that's fine. You can say no. The Japanese never or hardly forget things, okay? So if you express the interest from the beginning, they keep it in their mind. And based on how your output is during your study period, they would like you to continue, okay? Do you have a job now? You state that. In your motivation for studying in Japan, why are you motivated to study in Japan? Why would you want to study in Japan, okay? And why are you choosing Japan to study? Okay. And what things do you think you can contribute to Japan and your home country through your experience in studying in Japan? You also indicate that as well. The language ability, as I mentioned, if you don't know, it's okay. Reading, writing, speaking, nothing, but at least the English should be there, okay? The English should be there. And this is the scale for rating 3, 2, 1, poor. It's okay to write poor here, okay? Okay, don't worry. But English should be good, excellent, excellent, you know. Others is important. If you speak maybe French, if you speak any other international language, indicate it here, okay? And if you don't have TOEFL or IELTS, it's okay. But I'll give an explanation later. There's a but for this. If you don't have this, it's okay. But if you do, please indicate it. If you also have Japanese language certificate for the JLPT, you can write your level is level 5 to 1. Yeah, so you write your level and the score, okay? And so over here, okay, over here, this is an important part. Would you be coming with dependents? That's if you plan to bring your family members to Japan. But even if you plan to bring your family members, I would recommend that you come first, settle, and bring them along, okay? So you fill their name, their relation, the age, the nationality, your current address. That's somebody you can contact in your home country in case of emergency. Their relationship with you, your mother, your brother, anybody. And have you ever been to Japan before? Okay. So you start with your most recent visit. If you've been here 5 times, only put your most recent 2. That's okay. Okay. And tick this box that you understand, put the year, month, date, and your application is good to go. All right. So that's it for the application form here. Okay. So, where were we? Here, color. Okay, so that's the first one, the application form. Okay, then there's a preference, placement preference application form. This one is for the schools you would like to, hold up. Okay. So this is it. This is it here. Okay. So this is the application form we just went through. This is the placement preference application form. And as I said, for anything, if they have a format, use their format. Okay. And so you write your name here, your gender, nationality, date of birth, and the field of study, the field you want to study in Japan, chemical engineering, bioresource science, food engineering, food nutrition, then your detailed field of study in Japan, like your research title, okay? And then this is an assignment you would have to do yourself. You have to go online, find Japanese universities that offer the course you want to do and fill it here, okay? So your first choice, the name of the graduate school. At this point, if you don't have any contact with an academic supervisor, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, but just state a potential, somebody you've seen online who you think that's something you're interested in and you want or you would like the person to supervise you, okay? So just put the person's name here, put the graduate school and the university, about 3, okay? Then you agree to arrive in Japan by the month you have selected in your application form. Okay. So this is distracting. Okay, so that's it for the research placement form. Then the next form is your academic transcripts. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Field of study and research plan. So use the form they have as well. So just come down. You see the field of study and research plan here. Okay. And this sheet, okay. The important thing to note is there are only 2 ways to fill this. You must either typewrite it in block letters or handwrite it in block letters, okay? And they've also stated that please write in Japanese. At this point, you don't speak Japanese, which is okay. Handwrite it or typewrite it in block letters. In English, you can use DeepL to just attach the Japanese version of your research proposal. DeepL does a better translation than Google in terms of the technical words for some fields. So I would recommend you use DeepL over Google Translate. But if it's free though, but if you still don't know how to use it, it's just a copy and paste and put it in a document. But if you can't do that and you can use Google Translate, that's also fine. Okay. Okay. And this is one of the most important documents determining your selection. So as much as possible, put in a lot of effort. You can write it on Word. Let somebody who is well versed in your field read it for you before you typewrite it or handwrite it. Okay. And it should be within 2 pages max. Okay. Okay, as much as possible, follow, even though they said additional, maybe attached if necessary. Beyond 2 pages, they will not read. So just try and stay in the range, okay? So past and present field of study, 1, research theme, okay? The theme here and the plan, the research plan. So you attach one more page since they said 2 pages. So try not to exceed if you're adding, okay? So that's for the research plan. Okay. Then the next is your academic transcripts for all academic years of university attended. So attach all your transcripts. You need an original copy. I don't know if many are aware, but for transcripts, you can get an original copy and certified copies. University of Ghana, you can usually pay, apply, and get the certified copy. So that will be the additional copies you add, okay? So your transcripts here, then your certificate of graduation also here, okay? And the next is your recommendation letter. For the transcript, there's no format. So whatever your university gives you, that's what you're using. And a recommendation letter from the president or dean or your academic supervisor at your current or last attended university. It's also needed. Okay, you need one original and 2 extra copies. Then they have a sample format. So use their sample format. Yeah, here, this one. This is a sample, okay? This is a sample format, okay? And the reason I'm saying you should use it is they have questions that need to be answered by whoever is giving you the recommendation, okay? So use the sample format, your name, your given name, middle name. So try and obey whatever they have written here. It would help you a lot. The tricky thing for the recommendation is you just fill in your name, okay? Usually you don't even have to do it. The person recommending you should do it if possible. If you have a good rapport with your professors and all those things, this will come in handy because they have to state their name, their institution and their title, their address, their telephone and phone number. And they'll have to state the time that they've been in contact with you, from what time to what time, what's the nature of their relationship with you, what areas do you need improvement or growth, then your interpersonal skills, how well do you work within a team, how would you describe the applicant's leadership skills, and your degree of self-confidence, okay, your personal character. And over here, they should indicate your overall evaluation. Do they recommend you? Do they strongly recommend you? Do they recommend you with reservation? So if your professor doesn't like you, this is where it will show. Okay. But the thing is, you might never see what is written inside. So I'll explain that. Okay. And if they have additional comments, they can write. They can sign here, write the date, and stamp. If they have a stamp, please encourage them to stamp. Okay. After that, the reason why I said you don't see this is, so it's stated here that you should ask the person to fill the form, seal the envelope, and sign across the seal and send it back to you. And do not open, because if you open the envelope, it will not be accepted. It would be seen as a tempered document and not as suitable for your application. Okay, so the person should type or print, and after completing, they put in an envelope. If you can, provide your professor, your supervisor with white envelope. They should put it inside. After they sign the letter and seal it here, they should put it inside, seal the envelope, sign at the parts where they have sealed the envelope. You know, there's a glue-like part. They should sign. Okay, if they can sign and stamp, that's fine, but they should sign. Okay, and give it to you. You put it in a bigger envelope, a brown envelope with everything, all the other documents. Okay, so that's it for the recommendation. The next document is the medical certificate. Use the 2027 form. Okay, so the form is also here, should be here, yeah, certificate of health. Okay. Make sure this is filled by a professional doctor. Don't go for a roadside doctor, a nurse, physician assistant. No. Go for someone who is a doctor, not just anybody. Okay. So your name here, because they have to examine you, your height, your blood pressure, your pulse, your eyesight, with or without glasses. It's okay if you use glasses, don't worry. If you use contacts, it's okay. It won't reduce your chances. Your speech, can you hear? Are you hearing impaired? Your blood type, your weight. So you see why it should be done by a professional. Your lungs, are they okay? Everything has to be checked. Is there any disease you are treated? If you have a family doctor, I think they can also fill this for you, okay? That should be a medical practitioner, okay? Past illness, vaccination history, okay? So fill all this. Your glucose levels is very detailed, yeah? Anemia test. They will understand, the medical practitioner will understand all these terminology, so don't worry. Okay, and they have to sign here, right? The date they fill this form, their the medical center they work in, and their address. So that's why you shouldn't let just anybody do it, okay? Make sure it's someone certified, okay? That's for the research health certificate part. Okay. Next is abstracts or thesis. So before I continue, I want you to note the color of the circles. You see this one is transparent, but these dots have a black, jet black in it. And there's a note here. All those that are transparent must be submitted. They are musts for all applicants. But if it's black, it's only if applicable, that's when you add it. So if it's not an applicable document, no need, okay? So must are these ones, the first 7, okay? But from 8 to 11, only if applicable. So if you did a master's, you have a thesis, you can add the abstract. If you've published some papers, you can add it. Language proficiency. So I think I earlier mentioned that I'll give more detail when we get here. If you don't have TOEFL or IELTS or TOEIC or any of those tests, is fine. But for example, University of Ghana, I'm using University of Ghana because that's where I went. I'm sure other universities in Ghana and worldwide also do these things. You can get a form from the language center, you apply for it. You can get a form that shows that you were taught in English because they need to know your competency, even if you don't have the TOEFL or IELTS. Okay. But if you already have that one, that's okay. You just need to attach that. And if you are currently working, recommendation letter from the present employer. If you are applying to an arts university, you need to attach your original works to this as well. Okay, so 8 to 11 are only if applicable. 1 to 7 are must. And I think the first evaluation that is done is to check if you've submitted the required ones. Okay, the rest are just additional. And for the application, these numbers are very important. Make sure all your documents are numbered. It should be written somewhere. Yep. Should have filled. Okay. Okay. Yes, okay. So make sure you number in that same order, application form number 1, and arrange them in that same order, okay? These days, people are very busy. You don't want them to just think, oh, you messed the numbering up. Maybe you put 2, you put 5, you put 7. Make it in order, okay? You've come this far to get all these documents, because I know even getting recommendation letters is not easy. If you come this far to get the documents, put them in good order, okay? So it's stated here. Ensure there is no missing information in the application form when printing it out. Write the document number. It's even underlined from 1 to 11. Okay, so refer to these numbers 1 to 11. Write the numbers very, very well on your application. Okay, and so that's it for the main document you have to submit. The rest are additional items. Okay. And try and read through all these as well. Read for understanding is also very important. I think I've explained all these into detail. The same numbering above is the same thing they have repeated here for emphasis, so that should let you know it's very important. Number your documents before submission. They've stated it 3 times in an 11-pager, so it's very important, okay? And after the first screening, you get an acceptance letter. They'll provide you with a list of universities that you can check. That's even if the universities you wrote in your placement form, you don't get any information from them later. after the first screening, because you have an acceptance letter from the embassy, it carries a lot of weight. It would help in your application. So that should be good for you to move on. And I mentioned about the written test. Okay, yes, okay, okay. Okay, let me go back. Ah, yeah. Okay, I said I would throw some emphasis on the exam paper. So there are past questions here for you to go through. I'll skim through briefly. So these are past questions from 2019, 2014, all of them. They are very old, but trust me, the structure doesn't change much. So this is what I wrote. Oh my. So when you click the link, it just takes you to wherever the question is. The exam and the answers are all there. So you can take the exam on your own, practice, and the answers will be there for you to mark, okay? So this for the research student for 2018. All the years are also the research students. The answers are here, okay? Let me just open one for you. This is how it looks like. So the exam is for 60 minutes. You write your name, okay? Then it's basic English questions, okay? It's if you go through their past questions, you would pass the exam they will give you. So don't worry about it being overly difficult. It's English, okay? Sorry, but I feel a little sick. Would you mind on the sofa? You just answer that, okay? So simple English. And you have some choose grammatically incorrect. I think it's even like senior high school. Yeah, it's just a test. You'll be fine. So just go through the past questions and yes, it would help you prepare very well. We also have a comprehension here as well, so it would help you prepare. Okay, then let me open the Japanese exam for you to see how it's also like. It's this is the important thing. Even though you don't speak any Japanese, you don't know anything, it's okay. But don't leave the sheet empty at all costs. Okay, so this is example here. Okay. To just show you how to answer that in the dash ni hairu ichiban dekiru yona mono o A kara D made
My
no
goodness.
nokata dotsu erabinasai. So they are saying that from A to D, put the correct answer here. So you have to choose the correct answers, okay? So example, watashi wa Rainen Nihon ikimasu. The answer is B.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Nihon ikimasu. So you are going to Japan next year. You see, simple question. Oh, that's the meaning. So in that order, if you don't know, it's okay. At the time I was writing this test, I was seeing stars. That's the truth. I was seeing stars, but now it's a very simple test in my eyes. So if you don't know, it's okay. Just don't leave it blank. Fill A. If you don't even know, it's okay. Okay. この本は全然 da 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 da. This book is not 面白い interesting, not interesting. You don't know, it's fine. Just don't leave it empty. Okay? Don't leave it empty. Okay,
Wow.
so that's the tip for the tests. And I think I've exhausted everything. Okay, that should be all for now. I'm done.
Really? Wow, this was like intense. You guys put like
Yes.
some clapping signs, like please give some clapping signs because like when you've been taught everything like step by step, so you kind of like know where you can find your way around.
Mm.
And okay, that last one was good. Like the last one where you you spoke the language. Please give Doc a clap. Yeah. I think there are some very important questions as well.
Okay.
in the chat. I can read them out to you.
Sure, sure,
So
sure. Please
we
go
can
ahead.
take them. Then I can ask maybe just life in the, I know time is going. It's almost 9 at your end, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is 9
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah, I need to let you go. So we'll run through quickly. So one question, please, you can also add on your questions as well, both on Facebook and on Zoom here. So someone from Facebook asked that do we need to search for the academic supervisor from the school we would like to study from?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Simple answer. Okay. So another person, Jocelyn asked that how do I number the recommendation letter for submission?
Just use the I think there's a number for recommendation, Ghana, not there. Oh, okay, recommendation letter is number 6. So just number all of them 6.
O-
Write it on the envelope. Don't forget the envelope is sealed by whoever wrote the recommendation. So we just write 6. Okay. Write 6 on it. That should do. Yeah.
Okay.
And importantly, the numbering should be at the upper right-hand corner. Don't write it in the middle of the envelope. Let me share my screen briefly and show you. Okay. So write the number in the upper right-hand corner of the first page of all the documents. So even if it's how many recommendation letters you're adding, recommendation letter number is 6. So all should be 6. And just stack them up in the order. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so cool. Someone asked, please, can you elaborate on the writing of the document number? Should it be written on the document after printing the document with an ink or print and attach to the document?
Ink is okay.
Ink is fine.
Ink is okay.
If you're going for a PhD, do you add your undergraduate transcript too?
Yes. It's stated.
Okay.
Let me share screen again.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Mm. Oh, can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Application form. Mm. Ah, what you call it? Okay. Okay, so over here, you have to state anything you are stating over here, especially for undergrad, you have to provide the documents. Okay. And aside here, it should be mentioned here as well. Mm. Academic transcript for all academic year of university attended. Okay, so undergrad, if you're applying for PhD, undergrad, masters, add all of them. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, there are lots of questions. I'm panicking. Okay. Someone said Mariah is saying, thank you so much for explaining in details. For the English proficiency, can I use an IL general? I don't have the academic. And can I use student copy of my transcript? My school doesn't give official transcripts to students.
You can use a certified copy. If you don't give original, you should get certified copy. Oh yes, and let me add, Nigeria is actually a special country when it comes to this application. It's good you mentioned her name. That gave me an idea that Mariah is from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigerians, you have to get a notary for your certification.
Yeah.
You have to notarize all your certifications. That's the key point for your country. So
Yeah.
far,
I
that's the
think
only
someone
country
else
that,
asked
yeah.
that please talk about the notarization process. Is it from a local
Ah,
court or a school official?
from the courts,
Mm.
not a school, a court. All those I know here from Nigeria, they had to do from a court. So get it from a court.
Okay. Someone is asking, please, I'll be grateful if you can share a format for the research plan. I'm finding it difficult to write.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I can't.
yeah, you need to be genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So for research plan, if you want ideas, all I would say is that first of all, they've stated it should be linked to something you already did. Okay. You can talk to your supervisor, your former professor, tell them you're applying. If you have an idea, you can even, AI can help you coin the idea, but don't use AI to write it, okay? It should be like after all, they said you should block letter type or write it. So AI can give you more ideas based on your interests. I do mentorship, but no, I don't do research plan for people in this session.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you Google it, like you said, an AI or a ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
give me a research plan for that. You see
Yeah.
how it will draft the research plan. So you have
Yeah.
an idea. And
Okay.
trust me, ChatGPT also like puts in a lot of gibberish. I can tell
Yes.
when you've written with ChatGPT. So don't try and do that
Mm.
through all the process and just ChatGPT will take you out. Just look at how the format is. Okay, it says that from year one, maybe year two, year three, year
Mm.
four,
Mm.
PhD or for master's year one, that kind of thing. So you can
Mm.
like have a fair idea on how to do it. Yeah. I don't know if this question has been answered, but he said, thank you, Doc, for the opportunity to ask you questions. What are the documents that require notarization? And I'm sure it's Nigerian or to be
Mm.
named to the notary public. Number two, is it interesting? It's interesting to note that from the research guidelines, particularly on note 7, which reads, a copy of your graduation certificate or degree certificate is acceptable if the copy is attested by an authorized
Mm.
official of the university. Do not submit the originals as the submitted documents will not be
Will not be
returned.
returned. Yeah.
Please explain in details. Does it require you to get an attestation letter when only the notification of results or a statement of the results is available? Thank you.
Okay. So, for the certified document, that is done by the university because usually you might get either, I think Ghanaian University, they'll even give you just one certificate, just one. You don't get copies of it. So you apply for a certified document of your certification. So you apply, they will sign, stamp, the registrar will do that. So you use that for the application because if you use the original one, it will not be returned and that will be the end. For the notarization, you do it outside the university. You need to do it through a court. Yes, you need to do it through a court. So any certification you are submitting from Nigeria, make sure you get it notarized. Okay.
Okay. Any,
It applies to only Nigeria only.
okay.
Yeah, as of now.
All right. Please, if you already have a master's and still want to a second master's, can you apply? Or if you already have a master's and want to apply, automatically you have to apply for a PhD.
Oh, you can apply for a second master's. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to justify why you are not applying for, there'll be an interview after the exam selection. So you have to justify why you apply for second master's. They will even ask you, why not a PhD? You have to explain why you prefer a master's. And I think if you feel that maybe the master's you didn't give you in-depth knowledge on whatever you wanted to study, you can state that oh, you would like to attain more knowledge before you proceed to a PhD. That's a legit reason. You can state that.
Okay. Someone is asking, I didn't get the research plan. Well, am I supposed to type or handwrite it?
Any stated either or.
Okay.
So any works.
Yeah.
But it should be blocked. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
No, reading for understanding is very important. I want to take my time and let them get
Yeah, 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 yeah.
understanding is also part of qualifying for the thing. So
Yeah.
research plan. It was research plan, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Fine.
the question is on research plan, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Stated Number two, typewritten or written in block letters. Okay.
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 That's capital letters.
Yes, capital
Yes.
letters, caps lock. Yeah. So if
Wow.
you're writing, still write capital. Yeah. I actually wrote mine by hand.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was
Oh,
so funny to me. Then I was like, why would they require me? Why can't they? You
yeah.
know, it's more of like, so that's what I'm saying, originality.
Yeah, they
So
want to see. Yeah.
yes. So
Okay, someone is asking, do we have to write the Japanese test tune after the application or it comes after the initial 6 months?
after the application,
Right after the application.
yeah, after your documents are submitted, and you'll be called. If your documents pass the first screening, you'll be called to come back. Not that same day anyway. You
Okay.
later be sent an email. So make sure the email address you provide, you check it from time to time. Okay. Shouldn't be a dormant one.
Okay. I think this question, I kind of like have a fair idea, say yes or no. The exam, document submission and interview, we have to go to the Japan embassy in our country or it's virtual. I think you mentioned,
You have to go.
yeah, you have to go. Whew,
And um, for example, those in Ghana, you've been asked to submit to the scholarship secretariat. Don't forget they don't handle only Japanese scholarship items. So if you are giving it to someone to give to someone to send for you, what's the probability it gets there? Send it yourself and know that you sent it.
yeah,
Yes.
I was going to ask that because like I have my own personal qualms when it comes to the
Um,
scholarships.
a scholarship secretariat.
Yeah, but are they
I
like
do
how
too.
efficient? How efficient are they with this one?
Oh, actually, I think they just have a different folder for it. You know the funny thing, when I went to submit, I entered, I greeted, I said, oh, it was even the old place at physicians and surgeons, right?
Yeah.
When I greeted them and I entered, I told them I'm here to submit for mixed. The woman took it and just threw the thing. I was like, oh God, please make sure my document gets to the embassy.
Wow.
So I was scared, but I still got to them. So make sure you send it yourself and submit it yourself. Because imagine I submitted myself, but see how, imagine if someone did it for me. Yeah.
So someone is
Mm.
asking, are you allowed to work alongside studies?
Yes, that's also another added advantage of the MEXT scholarship. You can do part-time jobs up to 28 hours per week.
Okay,
Yes, and there are different jobs you can apply for. I have a video on part-time jobs you can do in Japan on my YouTube channel, Pamela World. You can search that out as well.
you can put in the chat as well, so let's
Okay,
subscribe. Yeah.
sharpest.
So what happens if you want to apply for a PhD but are already enrolled in a master's course, which will complete in March 2027? My transcript is not ready and I'm just done with my first semester exam. How do I go about this if I have to submit both for undergraduate and master's transcript?
Okay, hold on. There's a way to go about it, but March 2027 is too close to the time you have to come. That's what I'll say. Hold on. I'm trying to find the link to my channel for you guys. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so I've posted the channel and in the documents it stated that okay, so here the remarks. You see, that's why I say you should read it. Um, if the applicant has not yet graduated, you have to submit a prospective graduation form from the university. It's possible to get this from University of Ghana. I'm sure other universities too. It's possible to get it, and it will state that you are due for graduation at this time, and as of now, you are on track to graduate on time at the stated time. But March 2027 is too close to the time you would come. So if you are graduating in March 2027, I think it would be better you choose October intake so you don't reduce your chances because they have to get the documents, look at the documents well, be sure it's original. So if you're bringing it, how many months? Literally the month before, the month when they are sending you your tickets to fly, the probability that you will get the PhD is low. But if you've already published maybe 4 academic papers and all those things, that would be a topper. But I don't think for most people at that point you might have that number of first authored or co-authored publications. So that your application doesn't get rejected, um, you should choose the October when they ask whether you want to come in April or October. Choose October. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Please, do you have a website where we can look for Japanese universities and professors?
Google.
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 Please, I want more clarification on the numbering of the recommendation letter since it's supposed to be sealed. Can I tell my supervisor to write the number in the upper right-hand corner of the first page?
You can write that yourself. That doesn't involve you opening the envelope. So you can write it at the upper right side. Okay.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes. So I'm going to skim through.
The
Please.
number of letters you will need, they are all stated. So, the number of copies you need for everything is stated here. Everything. So language set proficiency. If they need an original, they state it. If they need only copies, they state it. So everything is here. The number of copies you need for every document is stated here. Okay.
Yeah, that's some questions I can take. Please, if I've missed your questions, please put them in the repost them again. We have just 2 minutes. It will help because I keep skimming through. How many recommendations letter are required?
Yeah, the number is here.
Mhm.
Okay. Commendation letter from your president or dean. Original 1, copies 2. Okay. And recommendation letter from president employer 1. Okay. So if you don't have from president employer, try and get from 2 different people in your university or faculty or anything like that. Okay. And get the copies as well. Yeah.
How would the recommendations letter be made if it's sealed? Oh,
Did this person just join?
yeah, I think that you just joined.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Then please rewatch.
yeah, I think it'll be helpful so that
Yeah.
should there's one from Facebook that says academic record. Where do I write College of Education as the level of education since it's only the field since only a field is provided for undergraduate?
Can you read that again?
He said, where do I write College of Education as a level of education since only a field is provided for undergraduate?
Application form. Here. How does he write College of Education as
Um,
the
as a level of education since only a field is provided for undergraduate.
is the college not a school in except it's a different institution?
Yeah, I think College of Education is a university.
Yeah, so if that's the university you went to, please write it here
Yeah,
in whichever country. Yeah.
yeah, higher education. College,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
like primary. Okay.